Training smarter is not making you stronger. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's probably making you weaker, making you feel stuck, and making you feel frustrated, and you don't really even know why. But today I'm going to share with you 3 I's, yes, I's, that'll make you stronger, and that'll help you get the cool moves that we talk about on these videos, like handstands, human flags, V-stands, muscle ups, flares, flips, and all of that good stuff. And the first one that people don't use enough of, but they have way too much of something else, is information. People have so much information nowadays that they're stuck. They don't know which steps to take. They think that everything is advanced. They think that everything is beyond their scope, even though things like handstands and pull-ups and muscle-ups and all of that should be basic. Or they think the opposite, that they can achieve everything so quickly, so rapidly, and they're overzealous, and then they end up getting themselves into trouble because there's just this oversaturation of information out there. There's an oversaturation of videos and what people are doing, and you have to understand that that is just a small fraction of the population, but yet if you watched videos, it's going to serve you more and more and more of the same ones, the same people, the same kinds of people, and that's just the way it goes. And so you end up thinking that all of these people are able to do all of these moves and all of that, and really it's an oversaturation of information. And it's not your fault, it's just the way things are set up nowadays especially. But what you need instead is you need to follow what I'm about to tell you, okay? And this one is going to make all the difference, and not enough people listen to this one, all right? But it is, again, it's something that helps, it's going to help you build more strength and skill and mobility and everything else that you want to attain. And it's intuition, the first I. You need to listen to your body. You need to listen to what is going on the inside. And if you think that, you know, a lot of people will run to what they think because of all the information is going to make all of the difference. So they'll run to the supplements. You don't need any supplements. You just need food and water and being outdoors in nature. You don't need the magical sets and reps. Oftentimes we'll do 5 or 10 reps of something, or 50 or 100 reps of something, the same thing, okay? People run to science thinking that the lab coats have all the right answers, and they don't. Because of this fact, number one, we don't know hardly anything really in this world, how we're created, how we're designed. And you, each individual one of us, has that sense of intuition, and you have to start learning how to listen to that and listen to your body. It's like when you know you've done too much, or when you know you've done not enough. And you could tell whenever something is about to happen. You could tell if there's progress right around the corner, or you could tell if progress is not right around the other corner, something else is around the other corner. And you have to begin to learn how to use that unimpeded, uninterrupted by a bunch of useless, oversaturated, overhyped information and nonsense. So that's the first thing. Second thing is really important too. Second thing is instruction. Now, don't think that I'm right here saying, oh, get our training, get our coaching. It is good. Some of the best in the world, in my opinion. and our students are accomplishing some amazing things, having had setbacks and injuries and hardly ever trained before, non-athletic, and then they're building pull-ups and muscle-ups and press handstands and pistol squats and all of the mobility and strength that's necessary to accomplish those things. But I'm not talking about that. Maybe that's not even for you at this point. Maybe it is. But instruction comes from two different places. Number one, you can be your own instructor at a certain point. At a certain point. And a lot of people don't know when that point is because they just don't have enough experience. But at a certain point, you may be your own instructor, and you'll know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it in terms of your physical training. Some of you might be there, many of you may not be there. And then the other is to have, of course, instruction. Step by step, with people, a community. I don't really believe in the one-to-one, just one student, one instructor. I believe that having a team of teachers, a team of coaches, and a lot of students and a lot of data and information that you're surrounded with, that's the ultimate, that's the best. It's a community, it's a tribe, and it's how all of the best in the world become the best in the world at whatever it is. It could even be painting or cooking food. You get a bunch of people in a kitchen with a master chef and a couple awesome sous chefs, or same thing in a painting atelier. You have several master painters there, and you've got a bunch of students at all different levels. And so there's going to be kind of this step ladder approach, this step ladder kind of philosophy where you're going to keep going up a level, and you might become the teacher to somebody else, but you better have instruction that's coming from a good source to help you get up to the next step, or you're just going to stay stuck and stay injured. So that's number two, is instruction. And then the third one, and this one might be the most important. Yeah, if you don't have this third one, it'll be very tough for you. Very tough. Very tough. Because it's like, this one is like the kindling to the fire. If you don't have kindling, there is no fire. And so you can dump all the gasoline that you want to on it, but nothing is going to catch. Okay? And the third one is not motivation. You don't need motivation. You don't need someone telling you that you can do it. It's inspiration. That thing that comes from inside of you whenever you're seeing other things in your external world that you want to do too. And that's all that it boils down to, the desire. And like I said, if you don't have that, it will be very difficult. And there's going to be a lot of negative things that fill in that void as well. That's where the complaining starts. The boredom, the apathy, the negativity. And oftentimes that leaks out into other people, and then a person is negatively impacting other people because they don't have any inspiration. But inspiration is the main thing. And there's something else. Whenever you add this to the inspiration, then you'll go to levels that you never realized were possible before. And so if you've got things that you want to do, handstands, human flags, and remember, those are not just show. Those are not just to look cool. It's the freedom of movement, and it's the evidence of the transformation that's happened internally and externally to where you can move with freedom. And so when you couple the inspiration, the desire, the simple desire to have that, okay? Not selfishly, just simply. When you have discipline, then you're able to keep going up every single step on the ladder until you have total body mastery. And you can move how you want to, and you have freedom. And so maybe you have a career that's very demanding, the busyness of life, a family. You still want to have freedom of movement, body mastery. You still want to have strength, flexibility, mobility. But without the inspiration and the discipline, then they're not going to happen, and then all the other things set in. A miserable life. Not wanting to do anything, apathy. And so discipline is key, but discipline comes in two flavors, if you will. Similar to instruction, there's internal discipline and there's external discipline. Internal discipline is built over time, just like the ability to teach yourself. You have to learn from others, and then eventually you build the what and the why and the how, and you're able to do that for yourself, and then eventually you're able to pass that on to other people. Discipline is built the same way from the inside, and you're learning that also externally. And so here's something fascinating that happens. When I train people, oftentimes, I know this, I know what's coming, okay? I know it's coming. Especially if it's hard training. Let's say a horse stance for 5 minutes, or let's say squat jumps around the gym, or a handstand on the wall for 2 minutes, okay? These are basics, and people always say, those are not basics, those are advanced. They are basics, but not, what is basic to some is not basic to all. But the key is making it basic for you. And I'll tell you this, strength and flexibility without movement mastery is vanity. Plain and simple. Remember that. Strength and flexibility without movement mastery is vanity. And so, when we think about all these pieces, it really boils down to your mindset and to those 3 I's. The over information that you have available to you every day, but the intuition that you need to build instead. The instruction that can come from the inside, but that is dependent upon the quality of instruction that you receive externally, because nobody lives in a vacuum. And then the inspiration, again, that comes from the inside, coupled with the discipline, grows into something that you never thought possible. And so what happens is, when I'm training people, I could be one of those basic moves, a horse stance, 5 minutes, 2 minutes on the wall, handstand, squat jumps around the gym. They will do about halfway of what they could. Just half. And I know it's coming. And this is something I call closing the loop, because I know what's about to occur. It could be at a workshop. We're traveling right now. I'm on my way over to a different workshop in a different part of the country, but on a surf expedition right now. And it could happen at a workshop, it could happen face to face, it could happen at the gym, it could happen online with online training, it can happen anywhere. But people give up way too soon. And I see that, and it's called closing the loop, because I can see that about to transpire. Even just in giving the instruction, I know that there's going to be a breakdown somewhere, and usually it's mental. It is not physical. 99% of the time, it's a mental, well, not mental breakdown, but it's a mindset that doesn't push to where they could go. And so closing the loop looks like a simple example would be adding a supplemental exercise on top of something whenever somebody doesn't complete what it is that they're supposed to complete. And so they make it halfway around the gym, or they only get to 37 seconds on a wall handstand, and you know it's coming, and then it's like boom, and then redo the whole thing. Now here's the funny thing, the fascinating thing, like I mentioned. The fascinating thing is that they'll do half or 40% or 37% of what the requirement was, which is still below where they're at and what they could do. So their threshold is higher. They'll do a bunch of work, and then they'll go and they'll have to repeat the whole thing, the whole round with good form, not perfect because there's no such thing as perfect, but with quality. They'll repeat the whole thing on top of the work that they already did. So when we get back to the idea of working smarter, okay, people are getting obsessed with all the numbers and the supplements and everything that they think that they need because of what they've been told by a lab coat or someone. I won't be insulting, but they're taking that information and then they're dwelling on it and overthinking and overanalyzing, and then they end up not accomplishing the amazing, incredible things that you could accomplish. You see what I'm saying? And I see that all the time. People give up at 20, 30, 40% instead of getting to 80, 90%, which is gonna make that next breakthrough happen. And that's just a simple fact of the matter. And so we'll wrap this up and we'll tie this all together in a really important point that'll help you really accelerate your training, okay? And the sand is cool. You can make like handstand canes in the sand. Perfect for your grip. Completely molded to your own hands. But again, reviewing. You don't get stronger by training smarter. You get stronger by allowing your intuition to grow, and you can't force that. That happens with time and with good training. You don't get stronger by thinking you're being smarter, by overanalyzing everything on repeat and getting angry and frustrated whenever the numbers don't work, or you've been told one thing and someone says another thing and you try this thing and then that doesn't work for you. That's not going to work. And we don't even know the depths and the fathoms of how our body works, not to mention the spiritual side of things. So all the smartness game, that doesn't work. Intuition, and that's a development. That's a process to build that, just like building strength and flexibility. Instruction, becoming your own instructor after being immersed in quality instruction through community. That's the second key. The third key, as our review today, inspiration. Finding what you do want to do and not complaining about what you can't do, being okay with where you're at and enjoying seeing, and then having that little spark of, yeah, you can too. But applying the discipline, both internally, just doing it even if you don't want to, and externally, allowing other people to hold you accountable so that you can proceed in the journey, because that's just a normal part of life. And so tying all of this together very clearly, stop trying to train smarter. Don't listen to the cliche of train smarter, not harder. Use your intuition. Have good instruction and be inspired to go to new levels. I'll see you in the next video and in training soon.